excited that you're here. Thank you for making time. Anita, like so many of us, is balancing some family responsibilities and caretaking responsibilities. And I think if there's ever been a place in a community that understands that, that's ours. So we don't mind seeing a 2-year-old or hearing some noise in the background. That is all welcome and part of our lives. And we want everyone to bring your whole selves, including all the things that are around us. So no apologies, all that good stuff. We're glad you're here. Thank you for making time for us. Would love you to start off by just telling all of us a little bit about yourself. I know we had your bio shared, but that would be a great way to kick this off. Sure. And then I'll turn it over to you, and I'll be in and out a little bit, but we're excited to have you be here.
Awesome. And I do have the chat up. But if I miss a question, I'll just ask that people either repeat the question, or maybe if you're in and you see that I've missed a question, you can read it from the chat. Yeah, so hi everyone. Thank you for your patience. I'm excited to give this workshop. I think that you guys are going to get a lot out of this workshop. I've actually done this training with quite a few people, and I would say that this training is so powerful that it would make it will make a quantifiable difference. Like you could even say that you have a 50% higher chance of getting a job with this training. It's quantifiable enough that I've done this training before I went into my role with NVIDIA. NVIDIA said that I could not do this training with people who are interviewing for the company because they did not want to give training to people that would get them the job. They wanted people to be able to get it on their own versus from my training. But prior to coming to NVIDIA, I used to work in a staffing agency, and I would have managers, and they would spell out specifically things that I taught in this training, saying that was why they wanted to hire the person. And so it's a quantifiable difference. But let me tell you about myself. I started as a recruiter, I want to say it was June of 1998. And so here we are in June of 2023. I don't remember the day in June, but I have been a recruiter for 25 years now. I've been a training manager. I've been a full desk recruiter. So what does that mean? That means that I understand the full life cycle of recruiting. I sit down with hiring managers. I go over resumes. I give offers. I do everything from finding the candidate to prepping the candidate for a role to extending the offer. And the only thing is, in the HR world, you could say I don't fire people. I just hire them. So that's kind of my role. So this training that we're going to be doing is for either you could apply it for the virtual on-site, but also the on-site. Some of the tips are only going to be good for on-site. For instance, shaking the body language, handshake, and the body language section. You can do it a little bit on the virtual, but it's very, very powerful on the in a true on-site situation. So a little bit about myself. I have a 9-year-old, almost 10-year-old. In August, he'll be 10. I have a very large garden. We use that garden to bless the community. I've actually, for the last year and a half, been hiring people who are unhireable, who have a hard time finding jobs, to develop the garden. And then I'm going to be using 50% of the produce that is produced in the garden to bless the community, giving it to either homeless foundations who are feeding people, or to also to my neighborhood, to kind of develop the relationships in the neighborhood. I really believe in making a difference, that every person should be a core value, in my opinion, for every person, but it's my core value to make a difference for others. And so one of the reasons that I offer this training, I've been invited to everything from different networking companies that are just trying to gird up their people with skills to help them find jobs, to Toastmasters. I've been a guest speaker at Toastmasters many times, and all the way down to even to I want to say, before Shelter In, I was on an NVIDIA nonprofit panel, and I did this training for 200 or 300 new grads just before Shelter In. So this training has been done in very large groups and very small groups, all the way down to one-on-one. So that's a little bit about me. I don't know if you want to know anything else personal at the end. If you want to know more about me, I'm happy to tell you. For instance, I was a missionary kid in West Africa for like 6.5 years or something. So, I have a long and exciting life, I guess. But let's get started. once you go into the virtual on-site or the on-site interview, and I have a separate training for the phone screen, and maybe I should just touch on it, touch on phone screening, because you want to get to the point that you're at the on-site or virtual on-site. So just a couple tips from my phone screen training. When you are interviewing on the phone, make sure you sit up straight so that your voice can be heard. Make sure you smile. People can hear a smile through the phone. If you're doing a Zoom meeting, make sure you're smiling. It doesn't mean you like glue a smile to your face, but it does mean that you make sure that your face is in a happy, relaxed position. You don't want to be, you don't want to have stress or anxiety or anything like that on your face. People like to hire people and they can hear the smile through the phone. Even if you have a little bit like you're losing the voice like I am, they can still hear a smile. It's incredible that you can hear somebody smile, but you can. And then on the phone screen, I'll just say, just like in person, honesty is very important, but you want to have honesty with confidence. And so what does that look like? Let's say they're asking you technical questions. Can you do this? Have you ever done that? Let's just say, for instance, you're interviewing for a Java position, but you only have a C++, and they say, have you ever used Java in this circumstance? You can just say, actually, I have not used Java yet. I've studied it in school. I've read about it, and I'd love the opportunity to work with it. But, the closest I've come to using Java is doing object-oriented programming with C++, and that's why I'm so excited about this position. Whatever it's going to take, I will be there and I will do it. And that kind of confidence is exhibiting that you're honest, but also that you are somebody who's a go-getter. You are someone who's going to actually take the initiative to bring yourself up to speed. So that's what I'm talking about as far as confidence goes. And if you can just give me 1 second, I'm going to mute. Not only do I have a 2-year-old here, but my mom is here and she has dementia and she just got up. So hold on a second. I don't see my mom in the monitor, so I may have to go check on her just to make sure she didn't fall on the floor or something. But let me just talk for a few more minutes. I'm gonna go through the first page, and then maybe what I'll do is I will leave it on the first page and let you guys absorb everything. I will be giving these notes, if I haven't already, to Katie, so that she can share them out with everybody. So honesty. Make sure you're honest. Make sure your resume is honest. You should have only things that you can answer technical questions on your resume. And if you're in a non-technical position, it's the same thing. If you can't talk about something, take it off your resume and study up until you can talk about it. So hygiene, I think hygiene is and appearance are important regardless of whether you're on the phone, on a Zoom call, or in person. Making sure you shower before, making sure you feel good. See, when we feel good, when our bodies are dressed for success, it cracks me up in a sad kind of way. As a recruiter, I interview people all the time. And as a recruiter, sometimes people come to my interviews in sweatpants and they look like they just got out of the gym. And yeah, I understand that shelter in and stuff, but the thing is that they're not really showing that professional side. And in the interview is when you are expected to be the most professional. You should be dressed better than everybody else. Not dressed down, even though the high-tech industry is a dressed down kind of environment. There's still this kind of like back hidden, from all the years of training that we've had, that when you go for an interview, you dress nicely. So making sure you brush your teeth before an interview, taking a shower, that you're ready, that you feel good, because that's going to portray through your voice. If it's just a phone interview, it's going to come through on the Zoom call that you're like with it. And in person, let me just say, people can see you, they can smell you. We don't want to have any like offensive things. Usually I don't have a problem with females, by the way. I do on occasion interview people, and their stank is so bad that you wish you weren't locked in a room with them for the interview. And so I've had interviewers come back and the managers have said, well, we really like the guy, but we couldn't stand to be in the same room with him. He smelled so bad. We're afraid that if we hire him, this is an interview. And in an interview, you're supposed to be at your best. We're afraid if we hire him, that we're going to just be dealing with that all the time. And we just can't deal with that. So, people notice and they won't tell you, but they will make decisions based on it. And it's not always the decision that you want. So make sure your appearance and your hygiene are spot on. All right. Next thing, verbiage. Be succinct, but make sure that you also allow for the ability to take a deep dive. Sometimes people talk and talk and talk and talk and they don't say anything. And sometimes they don't say enough and they can do the job, but people don't get enough out of them. And so one way you can be succinct is you can say, well, yes, I have done C++ programming, and I'm just going to use that since I used it as an example earlier. It could be anything. You could be, yes, I have managed registers. I've managed this kind of register and this kind of register, and I'd love the opportunity to manage that kind, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm just using, this is a girl develop it. So hopefully you guys program in something. It might be HTML, it might be JavaScript, it might be C++ or Java or Perl or Python. But this is it, no matter what your skill is, this can be applicable for it. You just have to change a few of the words I say and apply it to yourself. So you would say something like, I've done this, this, and this with it. Would you like me to go through that further? Can I take a deeper dive, or is that enough? Or do you have any specific technical questions? So you're exhibiting that you're able to be succinct and you're able to let the interviewer take the lead on the flow. Okay. And so, and you're exhibiting that you have deeper knowledge than what you've said. Okay. So that is, any questions, by the way, on honesty or the personal aspect before I move on to the next? Okay. It sounds like my mom may have fallen. I'm going to let you guys, and I'm so sorry. It's just, it's a little chaotic here, but I'm going to let you guys read through this part so I can pick my mom up off the floor, and I will be right back. This next section is actually very exciting. So just go ahead and give me a minute. And again, I apologize. And I know Katie said, don't apologize. We're all women and deal with things, but I still, I feel bad that she fell. So hold on a sec.